Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well. My name is Steven and this is the Storytime channel. We've got some entitled parents to hear about, so let's jump right into our first story of the day by Miss Andromeda 19. Entitled parent wants me to babysit her child while I'm at school. This happened when I was in 4th grade. My teacher, let's call her Miss Kathy, not her real name, got separated with her husband at that time. She cheated with her colleague. It was very obvious actually. All of the students, especially in my class, are well aware that there was something fishy between her and our guidance counselor. Long story short, Mr. Guidance Counselor got fired and moved on to another province, and Miss Kathy is now a single parent who is desperately in need of a babysitter. She brought her spawn to our class with the principal's permission. Now this is where crap happened. She assigned me to take care of her 3-year-old child while we're having a class, to entertain him so he would not cry or make any unnecessary noise that can distract the class. I was not willing, but she threatened me that she will fail me in her class. Oh, and I also need to watch over him inside the classroom in recess. I tell you, it's not fun at all. I can see and hear my friends playing and having a good time in general outside our classroom, while I have to suffer with a spoiled little brat. It went about 2 weeks when my mother noticed that my notebooks had been doodled by a little kid and all of my notes are incomplete. She asked me about this and I told her about Miss Kathy. She went ballistic and went to the principal's office the next day. Not sure what happened in there, but I think Miss Kathy got suspended and we had a new substitute teacher. He is very cool and good at teaching. Never heard anything from her after that. So that is one of my few encounters of entitled parents. Sorry for my grammar and have a nice day. Listen, I would not be able to put up with taking care of your kid for weeks on end during class. That's an unfair burden. If this was you, would you have taken care of the kid? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you have any ideas on what you would have done instead, let me know that too. Our next story is by Lady Delirium, organizing a funeral on my own because my mother wants an apology. I am having a rough week. Every time I think I'm on top of things, I have to do something that sucks even more. A bit of history, as this is not a normal situation. My son's father and I were never in a relationship. It was a one-night stand that changed my life forever. He was an obnoxious POS and we fought all the time. His mother, C, was amazing though, and over the years I have built a relationship with her. When my son was 9, his dad died, pretty much the way he lived, drunk on a motorbike. This was 8 years ago. I made a huge effort to make sure that C stayed in our lives. She grew up in a children's home and my son and I are basically her only living relatives. She was very sick with lung disease and last year I decided she was going to move in with us so we could look after her. After much debating, she was fiercely independent. She decided to move in this year. Eventually, during an easing of lockdown restrictions, C moved in with us in May. It was not easy, but it sure was fun. She was so funny. Great sense of humor, set in her ways, but open to everything. I really loved her. My son took her shopping once a week and we were getting into a great routine. I was finally able to spoil her after years of her fending for herself. She was rushed to the hospital on the 8th of August with stomach cramps. They then had to move her to the ICU as she had a lung infection. On the 13th, the hospital told me that I should come and see her. This was not a good sign as there is strictly no visitors allowed in hospitals at the moment. I honestly thought she would pull through. They have told her so many times that this is the end and she always pulls through. Well, anyway, she passed last week, Monday, on the 17th. My son and I have both been wrecks. He was so close to her and so was I. As I am her only living relative, sort of, I have had to sign the death certificate, organize the cremation, arrange the wake, do all her paperwork, do her asset list. It has been emotionally draining and I am really just very sad. I had hoped to have more time with her. While I am doing this all on my own, my sister lives 6 hours away and has a newborn and a toddler, my mother has not called or messaged. She has not called or messaged me or my son. Nothing. She has told all her friends and any mutual friends that she is done with me and she will never speak to me again unless I apologize to her. Why would a mother not want to be there for their daughter who is trying to do this on her own? We had a fight the weekend that C went into the hospital. We had gone to visit my sister and help her with the baby. She is battling as her husband is an essential worker and she is pretty much home alone, with an amazing father-in-law, but he is also old. The whole weekend, my mother made it about her. She fought with everyone, she witched, she complained, she bossed my sister around to make her coffee. Like, what the freak, we are here to make my sister's life easier. She wanted to drag me to the mall for throw pillow shopping. Insane, I had a COVID test so I could play with the babies. No way am I risking my sister and the babies because of throw pillows. She shoved Trump down our throats. Spoiler, we don't even live in the USA. She's insisting on reading all the negative news. On the last day, she was having a go at my poor, exhausted sister and I just lost it. I told her that she has ruined the weekend for everyone and we were supposed to be here for sister, but she has made everything about her. She told me to freak off. I told her to freak off. She told me I am the biggest disappointment in her life and if she never sees me again, she is happy with that. I said that suits me too. She said that she is sorry she is not perfect like me. I said that I am not perfect, far from perfect. In fact, I am a freak up because of her. She told me to freak off. I said it is my pleasure. We have not spoken one single word since then. She did send my sister a message on the family group saying what a terrible person I am on the day that C died. Oh, and the kicker, the hospital called her first to say that C had died. She told them that it was none of her business and they must call me. They called me at 4 a.m. in the morning to tell me. She is now telling everyone that I refused to allow her to go to the funeral. Like, what the freak? No one is invited to a funeral. You are given the day and time and you show up if you want. I honestly do not want her to be there because she will behave so badly, making it about her. Making out that she is so freaking perfect to everyone there, I hate it. C wants her ashes put with her son at his gravestone. His grave is about 4 or 5 hours from where we live. We are going to make a weekend of it. My dad said my mom will want to come. Neither my son nor I want her there. She hasn't even contacted him to say sorry he has lost his granny. She has accused me of turning him against her, but I brought him up to stand up to bullies. She is the worst bully. She has called him fat and stupid his whole life. He decided at 10 years old he was done with her. All the bribery in the world would not make him go to her house. She just wants a free holiday and an excuse to be the center of attention. Not sure if anyone will read this, but I must say I feel a bit better putting these words down. This is a perfect example of how tough these situations can be in these stories that pop up about entitled parents. They're family, so at the end of the day, you don't want to just legitimately cut them out of your life, or you want to give them that chance to redeem themselves and be the way they should be acting, but time and time again, they rear that ugly head up and they just completely ruin your soul, and you just have to make that choice at some point to finally just cut them out. Just let loose of that and try not to get stressed out about it. So hopefully OP can just keep their distance and hopefully keep their stress levels to a minimum during this very important time in their life. And our final story of the day is by earthrogue. Entitled Coworker becomes entitled parent. Be my IT and electronics expert even if it's not your job. This happened/started about a year and a half ago. Entitled mother shows up at my desk one day at work. I've seen her at meetings but never interacted directly with her. We work in different parts of the building for different functions. She's in customer service and I'm in supply chain. I'm several steps up the food chain and I don't know her name. "Are you?" says my name. Me checking to see if my desk name placard disappeared. Yes. "Okay, I heard you used to be in the military." Not a question, just a statement. "Yes, I was." "Okay, I heard you used to fix electronics, is that true?" "I did. I haven't done any of that work in about 10 years. "Okay, but you still know a lot about electronics?" Me not liking this conversation. "Some things yes, some things no." "But could you add a printer though, right?" "I'm sorry, I have a meeting to go to in a few minutes. What do you want?" "Well, I need you to add a printer on my computer." You know the step-by-step directions with screenshots are posted over all of the printers, right? And isn't IT right next to where you work? They can help you if you need it. It will only take you a minute. I'm horrible at this kind of stuff and IT is off-site today. Me sighs. Okay, which printer do you want to add? Entitled Mother looks at me like I'm stupid. The one closest to my desk. Yeah, I figured that, but do you know the printer name? No, can't you figure that out? Listen, I'm doing a meeting in a few. I need to finish up a couple things beforehand. If you can't get anyone to help you in the next hour from your area, bring me the computer name and I'll show you how to add it. Can you come to my floor? That would be easier. Not for me. If you really want my help, make sure you bring the printer name with you. I'll be back from my meeting in an hour. Entitled Mother walks off. My coworkers and I exchange glances and eye rolls and talk about how easy it is to follow the screenshots. I get to my meeting and forget all about Entitled Mother until a friend IMs me. Hey, what'd you do to Entitled Mother? Me not understanding the question's intent, I might be helping her add a printer if she can't figure it out by the end of the meeting. Any chance you can help her? But what did you do to her? She sounds upset and said you were really rude? What? Does that even sound like me? I explain what happened. You can ask, name of other friend we both know who was there. She was really pushy. I said I'd help her when I got out of this meeting if she couldn't figure it out. Can you help her? I'm on a call and going to another meeting after. If I get out early, I'll try. Just thought you should know since she's down here witching about you. Fast forward to the end of the meeting. I get back to my desk to drop off my computer and then go to the break room to get some tea. I walk back to my desk with a friend. Entitled Mother is waiting for me looking irritated. Entitled Mother eyeing my cup of tea. So you had a meeting? Yes, then I got some tea. Were you able to figure it out? No, that's why I'm back. Can you hurry up and add the printer? I need to get this printed for this afternoon. Hey, I'm offering to help you. I don't know you and I hear you're complaining that I'm not being very helpful to your coworkers and I don't even know you. What? Who said that? Do you want my help or not? Fine, I got the name like you said. Hands me a post-it. I read the words HP Laserjet and sigh. Listen, this isn't the name. Who's someone who sits near you that could run over to the room and check for us? I instant manage your coworker who promptly sends me a screenshot and says they offered to help her earlier, but Entitled Mother said I was going to. Deep sigh and I walk her over to the printer room. I make her follow the directions in the screenshots herself and it's set up in a couple minutes. See, was that so hard? No, it really wasn't complicated at all. Next time, just give it a shot first and then ask IT for help. Or lots of people in your area can do this, like the person we IM'd for the printer name. Thanks, see you later, cheerfully goes off. I forget all about it until the next day. I'm working and hear a happy voice say, Hi, it's me again, thanks again for all your help yesterday. Me feeling annoyed but relenting a bit because she sounds like she's being nice. Oh, you're welcome, everything work okay? Yeah, and I got everything printed out just in time. Hey, I was telling my family about how you used to work on electronics and my son has a question. Can you do a mod to his Xbox? This is where I make a giant error. I should have said no and just left it there. Instead, I say something like, it's been a long time. I think the last one I did was on a Gen 2 Xbox while I was deployed. Oh good, so you'll do it? Me backpedaling hard. No, I can't. I don't even have the equipment to do that and there are a lot of problems with making mods. Like I could break the machine and it would completely void the warranty. I said a bunch of other stuff too about why it was a bad idea. But my son really wants the mod and everyone else wants too much money for it. They want like $50 and we'd have to buy the mod ourselves. Well, yeah, it takes time and the mod is more than $50. What you're paying for is a lot of skill and knowing how to solder. Again, I wouldn't know how to do any mods these days and I don't have the equipment to do this anymore. It would cost you more to buy the equipment than to pay someone else. Even if I could do it, I'm not willing to. But he really wants it and he doesn't want to pay that much. He says you can use the electronics lab at his school. At this point, one of my coworkers has had enough and tells her, Listen, he doesn't want to do it and he said no. Either pay someone who will or tell your son he can't have it. Entitled Mother looks shocked and leaves in a huff saying, You don't have to be rude about it. I figured that'll be the last I see of her, but no. My friend who works near her IMs me a little later and says she's going off. I find out who her manager is and set up a meeting with him a few days later. He shows up for the meeting with her in tow. We get into the room and he kicks it off. Thanks for taking the time to meet with us. I hope we can work out whatever conflict you're having. I've told Entitled Mother I want to stay unbiased, so I haven't heard her side yet. Can you tell me why you think you're having issues working with Entitled Mother? I say, what? Well, tell me your side of things, and then she can tell me hers, and then we can talk about it. This guy thinks he's here to resolve a conflict. Well, she's been extremely rude. Entitled Mother spluttering. Manager looking frustrated but patient. Can we stick to the facts and avoid any kind of name calling? Okay, I'm just frustrated. She wants me to make a modification to her son's Xbox and I'm not able to do it or willing to. I'm sorry, what did… Entitled Mother cuts in. He wants me to spend money to hire someone else to do it. I already told him he could use the electronics lab at his school. Entitled Mother, is this work related? Well, at first it was. He wouldn't help me install my printer. I finally got him to, and when I asked him to help my son, he refused, and one of the other people he works with was really mean about it. He made it personal. Me leans back and smiles a little. Your son? Looks at me. You're in supply chain, right? Yes I am. Yeah, he wants me to spend a bunch of money on my son's Xbox. My son even found a place for him to work on it. I was going to buy the thing he needs. He just has to install it. Manager to her. Would you excuse us for a second? I'd like to talk to OP. Entitled Mother leaves looking smug. Manager to me. I'm at the same level as the manager as far as responsibilities. Can you tell me what's going on? I ping my counterpart who was there for both interactions. As she's entering, Entitled Mother calls out, make sure you tell him what really happened. I think I'm going to be really sorry, but what did happen? We explain and my coworker is way more heated than I am. I also refer him to my friend who works near them for the rest of the story and show him my friend's IMs. I'm so sorry, do you want HR involved? Only if she keeps asking me to do this stuff. Also, next time if I ask for a meeting with you and don't add someone to the invite, don't surprise me. We talk a bit more before he leaves and he promises she'll only come to me if there's a work reason. Fast forward a month. She walks by my desk and says she's on her way to a meeting and says, well, I just thought you should know we had to get our son a new PlayStation since you wouldn't help with his Xbox. You weren't willing to pay someone who would do it $50, so you spent hundreds on something different, and this is my fault? Yeah, if you just made the change, we wouldn't have had to. Me, absolute silence. She walked off looking smug and I emailed her manager and HR and haven't had to interact since. Apparently, she reserved a meeting room in my area just so she could walk by my area to say that. Now, she's not allowed to come to our area and has to work through her manager for anything to do with us. She's also been warned not to badmouth me or she'll lose her job. $50 for that job is actually pretty reasonable. Unless you know somebody that actually knows how to do it and will do it for free because they're a friend or something, $50 is like a bargain for that kind of work. And especially if they can do it physically in person, because a lot of times you have to like ship your stuff out somewhere online and kind of just put your trust that they'll do it and ship it back to you, and you're probably spending hundreds of bucks to do that. And then she's like, okay, well forget it, we'll just go buy a PlayStation for at least $200-300. I don't understand. But with that being said, that's all the time we have for today. So if you enjoyed the stories today, please consider giving the video a like, and if you haven't, subscribe and turn notifications on so you'll never miss an upcoming video. And if you had a favorite story of the day, let me know which one and why in the comments down below. But no matter what you did, whether it was liking, commenting, subscribing, whatever you did, thank you all so very much for supporting me right here on the Storytime channel. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, I'll be back tomorrow with more Reddit stories right here on the Storytime channel.